Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you're looking live at Fast Cast Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, aka Jules, and I'm joined with my dad, my partner, co-host, Cowboy Joe 64, and we're back with another one. We haven't been back since the season opener, Thursday Night Football. So, we figured we would just give you all a little bit uh of what we were thinking and what we were seeing and what we thought, and that's where we at with it. So you want to go ahead and just let everybody know um, what's up, and then I'll let you give your first take.
So, give me 1 second while I'm trying to post something.
Let's see. But yeah. So I'll jump it off while you
Yeah, go
post.
ahead.
So I mean, of course, so the narrative, excuse me, the narrative has been, you know, that there is no moral victories. But the reason why they are saying that there is no moral victories is because the Cowboys look better than a lot of people were expecting. And without Michael Parsons, they looked a lot better than what people were expecting. Like I said, you don't want to take too much from the first game because you don't know. And like I said, I thought that the Eagles were not going to be as good this year as they were last year. And so that could play a part in it. I mean, but when you do what the Cowboys did, if you do that versus everybody, including the playoff teams that you play in the future, you're going to be a very successful team. Um, they they held they held uh, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Really, they really kept them out the game. Saquon Barkley, he really did not have success. He didn't really have success in the run game at all. Really, I think he got like 60 yards, something like that. And
So,
then
so watching the game, what was Bland, Elam, and Diggs doing to limit their receivers when you was watching it live? What were you seeing?
they were just in a zone the whole game.
They was making it hard for Jalen Hurts to throw the ball into the zone, into the
Yeah,
gaps.
correct. So they were in a zone the whole game, and basically, when you have that, what happened was they weren't getting a lot of pressure off the edges, but they were getting pressure up the middle. So when they were getting pressure up the middle, and the middle is all clogged up, and then everyone is in a zone, and they were playing their zones except the linebackers. And I won't say that the linebackers was playing their zones, but the edge rushers wasn't doing a good job, and it was certain linebackers that wasn't doing a good job, and that's why they ended up getting those yards that they got. But everybody was in a zone, so I don't know how likely you are to go a whole season like that to where you just play zone the entire game, because I rewatched the game. They didn't play zone in a single play. The whole game was zone, and so that's not going to
I
be
mean, they didn't
a
play
normal.
man.
They didn't play man at all.
Mm.
Not one snap. So we didn't have any edge rushers at all. Like Donovan Izaraku and Sam Williams and Dante Fowler. They were like, they were really not existed at all. And then you got to actually see like Donovan Izaraku. Like he's slow. And like when he's chasing down Michael Parsons, you like, oh my god, this dude is like, this dude, this we come on. I was like, what? And then the same with Dante Fowler. It's just like they run like they got cement in they shoes. So that's not going to be that's not going to be good. And then Kenneth Murray. It was so many times where Kenneth Murray was just in a wrong gap and just in the wrong place at the wrong time, just doing what he's typically done throughout his career. I mean, he's coming in full speed, but how many times is he going to come in full speed at the wrong place? Because he did that a lot. He took he took like like Osa and Kenny Clark. Man, I ain't never seen no Dallas Cowboys defensive tackles look like that. I ain't seen that. Like what you like what you want to see from your defensive tackles, you seen that
So
against the
Clark was
Eagles.
really good.
Osa was really good. They were really good together. All right, it was like some stuff like you'd be like, dang, he did like like if we were to see Mozzie do some of that stuff that they was doing right there, we would be jumping and doing backflips. But so Kenny Clark, Osa, we got that situated. We got that situated. But now the problem is going to be on defense is going to be your edge rushers and your linebackers. You got to get a superstar linebacker besides Overshawn because he is hurt. Like if Overshawn was playing in that game and he was spying Jalen Hurts, what they would have they probably wouldn't even have scored like
But
at all.
the person that you're gonna have to play is Leo Fowl, which it was puzzling. He didn't get many snaps, but just me watching the game, and we just let our viewers know I missed the whole first half. But it was just obvious that Sanborn he was just lost out there, and I wouldn't. But let me correct that. He wasn't lost. He just doesn't have the ability to get to where he needs to get. And if he's coming straight at you downhill, he's okay. But it was so many plays that I saw where he had to move laterally, and he just couldn't do it.
And your mic is like popping. I don't know
Mike
what
is
that's
popping.
about. Yeah.
Let me go to my audio.
Yeah. Go to your audio and just change it from what it is to just kind of change it around a little bit. Change it back, change it and then change it back. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
What about
Sanborn is
what about now?
still popping. It's a I don't know. I don't know what Sanborn. I mean, look, I don't know what any of the linebackers were doing. Sanborn didn't look good to me.
Is it
Kenneth
sound
Murray
the
didn't
same?
look. Yeah, it is. Um,
Let me.
I want.
I'm gonna log out and come back.
All right. I don't know what the linebackers were doing. They just and then he's supposed to be Eberflus is supposed to be the linebacker whisperer. So I'm guessing we're gonna find out and we're gonna see if he gonna fix that because I'm not getting it. I don't understand what was happening with the linebackers. They would look good, then they would look bad, and then like I said, Kenneth Murray, he looked like we expected him to look. We hadn't seen him in all camp, and we hadn't
Okay.
seen him.
How about now?
Okay, yeah, that's real good. We was coming. We was seeing. We didn't see Kenneth Murray in camp, and he looked like we didn't see him in camp. And Sanborn, I was expecting him to be like Captain Jack. He wasn't that. And then, you know, Leofow only played 6 snaps, but they got Damone Clark out here playing like he's supposed to be Ray Lewis. We don't need to see Damone Clark anymore. It's just time to get rid of him. It's just time for him to not be on this team anymore. And then but we're gonna have to get some edge rushers. We're gonna have to get some edge rushers. We're gonna have to invest in that department. Even though they just got rid of Michael Parsons, they're gonna have to get an okay edge rusher. I mean, because right now we don't even have Randy Gregory. Right now we don't have Demarcus Lawrence. Right now we don't have any of them.
So
So
just my
that's
observation.
that's who we're gonna have to get.
The person that's the closest fits what we need. In my mic, okay,
It's okay. We're gonna have to just go with it. Go ahead,
is Nealon. You
Nealon.
can come in here and look at it right quick. I got it on just FYI. I got it on microphone USB dynamic and then speaker USB dynamic.
So speaker USB dynamic shouldn't be on speaker USB dynamic. It should be on microphone USB dynamic.
So that's the first one. I do have that. So the one at the bottom.
They should both be microphone USB dynamic. And that's probably what it is. But yeah, so I mean,
How about now?
nah, it's still the same, but it's all right. I mean, I'm like it's not a big deal. So like the offense looked great. Besides the drops, I'm not sure what was happening with CD and Ferguson. They got to get reacclimated. I think it had something to do with the weather, but I'm not sure. But without those drops, we would have won the game. We had like 4 or 5 opportunities to win that game. We had the
Yeah.
opportunity with Ferguson over the middle. We had an opportunity we had 3 opportunities with CD on the last drive. My only thing is my question is this. What's the point of having George Pickens if you're not going to use him in situations like this, and then you're gonna throw CD his routes. See, all of those plays that CD dropped, those are the plays that George Pickens in stats is the best at.
Yep.
He's the best at catching those balls. So why are you throwing it to CD? Now I understand we want to see our coach go to our star players when the game is on the line. But what I'm saying is all this ranting and raving about how you got 1A and 1B. So you have 2 star players now. So you don't have one. So you can go to 2. And I feel like if they would have went to George Pickens more, we would have won the game. But also, and I want to say this, just doing a recap. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. Every time that to me, it's just like this. Every time that I see Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones implement something, it's the reason for the failure every single time. Like I feel like they hired Eberflus. I feel like that was a Jerry and Stephen hire. It's going to be the downfall of this team. I feel like somebody somewhere said, "Hey, Miles Sanders, he's playing against Philadelphia. That's his old team. Let's put him in the game.
I
Let's put
predicted
him in
that.
the game.
I told you that before the game. And
Let's put
next
him in the
next
game.
week it'll be different because
Let's
you're
put
not
him in
playing
the
CD.
game. Let's put him in the game, and then let's sit Jaden Blue, who we haven't seen all Europe, and then off season, and then on top of that, we had seen Miles Sanders all off season, and he almost played himself off. He played himself off the team. That's
And
how bad he
I
looked.
didn't know that he got caught from behind by the linebacker Bond.
That was hey, what's up, B Bird? When that happened right there, I said we're gonna lose this game because there's stuff like that right there that CD had them drops. I give you that, but everybody talking about CD and these drops because everybody just love to hate
The
CD.
Ferg drop was bad too. I didn't see it till after the fact, but yeah, that was a
Everybody
bad one.
everybody want to talk about CD because everybody's not a CD fan. They be hating on CD. Everybody always, they always say, "Oh, CD wasn't
Yeah,
he wasn't a top 3 receiver." Then they say, "Oh, he just a slot receiver." Then they say, "Oh, he don't have the yards per catch as Justin
and
Jefferson
this
and
is not the
all
first
that."
time that he's had drop passes either.
And
He
but if I have to go there, what I'll do is I'll pull up the stats between Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb, and Jamar Chase, and I'll just see who leads and drops, and I guarantee you that all of them have about the same number. They have about the same number every year. It never changes. They all have about if CD has 17, Jefferson has 16. If CD has 18, Jamar Chase has 19. It's
so
always the same.
I did see a stat, and I didn't keep it, that says he's up there, but
They all are.
and we saw CD drop a pass against the Giants a couple of years ago. I said all that to say this. So I got all of the 88s on my screen. Dez has the best hands of all of them. Michael Irvin was a little bit of a body catcher. Back in that during Michael Irvin and Drew Pearson's time, the receivers were kind of coached. It's kind of like a body catching era. So they started working, with receivers with catching with their hands. I think Dez was the best. CD, he loses concentration. Now I was listening to Boss Cowboy last night. He brought up a good point. He said he still thinks CD is kind of hung over from the Micah thing, and he just kind of it kind of affected CD. That's what his thing was, and I think like I said, CD has concentration issues, but he's a high volume dude. So at the end of the day, he's gonna be great. But yeah, those passes that went to him, I gotta say that George Pickens, especially on those two down the middle of the field, he catches those. Now that crossing route that went through CD's hands. Watching the game live, I did kind of feel like the ball is probably, it's some elements at play there because when the ball goes through your hands like that, it's something on the ball. So I will say that. I say that was probably the easiest one that he missed, the one that went through his hands and hit his helmet. Should have been an interception. But
Uh,
but yeah, they just watching the game the second half. I was just puzzled myself why they were
see
not
what
going
happened.
going to
See
Pickens.
what happens if you back up the mic. Like back it up. Like
Right now,
just talk. Let me see. Now talk right now.
testing.
Yeah, that's better. Go. Just yeah. Keep going.
No, I was saying watching the game live. I was saying to myself, why are they not getting Pickens the ball more?
Yeah. So that definitely fixes it when you back there when you backed it up.
Oh, okay.
Uh. So yeah, just stay back from it until we figure out what that is, and then I'll monitor it on this side. I can cut you up, so it won't necessarily be like you know it's gonna be fine. I can cut
But
you up on this
but did
side.
they say why they didn't go to Pickens in the second half right there?
Nah, they didn't say that because they gonna tell you that they went to him right there because they went to him on that third down on the previous play and he caught that ball. It's just like listen, man. The mistakes that they made are not they're just mistakes. There isn't any kind of like there isn't any kind of like reason why this happened. These are just mistakes that they made. Like to simply put,
So
it's a mistake. What happened was what happened was it's just like we're gonna go to CD all three times right here. CD, you are the best receiver on this team. You got to make these catches. That's what we're doing right here. That's what we're doing. We're not doing nothing else. Okay. Now, hindsight, the next game they're gonna go to George Pickens at least once out of that. But when the game is on the line, you got to go to your best player. And 95% of the time, 96% of the time, CD is going to make that catch.
but
So that's not a big
going
deal.
back to what you said earlier, you got two ones now. So you gotta what you gotta do, what Shotty gotta do as the coach. He do have to
Mhm.
change it up to where they are going to Pickens, and
Oh yeah.
that's what you got to do. So, but yeah,
So I just want to I just want to show this real quick. I just want to show this real quick. Make sure I'm showing this real quick. I know I got this
so
the way I got the landscape is really hard to see, but I mean I can make it I probably can figure it out. Let me see.
but while you figuring that out, and then Blue was a healthy scratch, which was puzzling. Um,
Okay.
go ahead.
So so these stats I got up here now, like I said, you can't really see it because the way I got the landscape. I'm learning. I wanted to try this way out, and so uh actually let me see something. Let's see. Oh, that's better. You can see it that way. Okay, so look, so look at these stats. So let's see who led the league in drops last year. Jerry Judy, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, Jamar Chase, Brees Hall, Jaden Reed, Devontae Wicks, Malik Neighbors, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, Jalen Waddle. So CD Lamb was number 14 on the list. So for everybody that says, "Oh yeah, CD, he be dropping and he sure be dropping," yeah, okay. Well, Jamar Chase had more than him last year. So let's check out 2023 and let's just see what happens. Let's see who had the most drops. Oh, Puka Nakua had the most drops under 2023. Then Tyreek Hill was next. Okay, where is CD on this
So I just
list?
want to see Chase, Jefferson, and CD. Everybody else.
I don't even see him on this list. Let's see. I don't even see him on the list. Let's see. Advanced rating,
I
except
saw something the day before yesterday that said, or yesterday, it said he had 35 drops. He had the most in the league. I don't know what period that was
oh
covering,
please.
but I don't know where they got that stat from.
Okay, so in 2023, CD Lamb had 6 drops. Uh,
With Chase
uh,
and Jefferson.
Chase and Jefferson. Let me see. I can go back to the player rankings. Oh yeah, put the player rankings. Chase had 5, so he had one more less than CD, and then Jefferson Jefferson was hurt that year, right?
So shout out to Ken Wright and
Yeah,
B Bird, of course, and Nermix. Appreciate you
yeah.
guys joining.
Let's see. NFL total
While you're
drops.
looking at that, so B Bird, I'll hit you on the back line. Man, we kind of like all over the place with doing shows. I know Friday and Saturday today really is not a good day. We got a birthday party, and then I got another thing tomorrow. So that Thursday night game, it just really throws everything off. And we can
And
do a show recap. But yeah, I think so. If we stay on the offensive side, you know, I know Pickens had 3 or 4 catches. I only saw one of them, and so they go to him some other points during the game, and it just wasn't completed.
what? CD?
Pickens.
Oh no, no. Every time I threw to him, it was a catch. So career drops between CD Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. Career CD has 23 through the 24 season. Justin Jefferson has 13 through the 24 season, and Jamar Chase has 30 through the 24 season. So
So
I
Chase
don't
has the
really,
most.
yeah,
But
and
yeah,
so I don't want to really hear that,
but
hear about that.
but yeah, we ain't got to belabor it. But CD, he's gonna play. He's automatically going to play better this next Sunday. Uh, that drop by Ferg was big. Just hearing it, I was listening to it on the radio, and then Brevin Spann did he do anything?
No, no, he didn't do
Uh,
anything. Let me say this. I want to say shout out to Ken, and then I want to say to B Bird, Sanders being caught. See, ever since I watched that documentary, when some I forgot who it was, you could tell me who it was. It was somebody that fumbled in a game and he got fired. He got cut.
his name is Kervin Richards.
Kirvin Richards. Ever since I watched that game, I mean, ever since I watched that documentary, Kirvin Richards he needs to be Kirvin Richards. Sanders cost us this game,
You
and I
know,
and
nothing not to cut you off. So I was listening to Lou's take.
yeah.
Shout out to Lou, his recap of the game. During his recap, he said Sanders should have been cut during the game. I'm just gonna tell you that.
He should have been cut during the game. He cost us the game. Let me tell you why. And I'm gonna say it always goes back to Jerry. Somebody in there said that they wanted him to play because this was his team. Number one,
I told you
if
that.
if that was Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, I say even Hunter Lupke. If that was anybody else, we win that game. And they have 2 touchdowns because he should have scored on that play, and then he should have scored on the goal line when he fumbled the ball and Kirvin Richards from LaPorte, Texas.
I didn't know he was a
Listen,
Texas guy.
see, listen, and that's why I be telling y'all when the OGs when they have their show, it's probably gonna be every Wednesday. Y'all gotta tune in if y'all my age because they really know what they be talking about with the Cowboy history. But let me say this, man. Miles Sanders cost us that game. You can put it on CD. You can,
Let
and
me
you
say
can.
let me say this too before I forget. You still can't explain to me why Miles Sanders is on this team and Malik Davis is not.
That's just it's just like I really got upset earlier today. I really got upset when I found out that the Patriots and the Bills were were adamant about adding Micah. They were trying to get Micah. They were trying to trade for him. I was really upset because I was thinking to myself like, if you got 2 ones from Green Bay and Kenny Clark, you mean to tell me you couldn't get 2 ones and a two without Kenny Clark or something? I mean, a edge rusher or I mean, a linebacker, a safety, a running back. You couldn't get nothing from the Patriots in 2 ones. You couldn't get nothing from the Bills in 2 ones. You couldn't get 2 ones and Cooks or whoever they got over there. You couldn't get a defensive tackle from over there. You couldn't get a linebacker or a safety or you already got Elam from over there. You couldn't get nobody from over there. He had to go to Green Bay. I'm telling you, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, there needs to be a narrative created that says that these guys are purposely sabotaging the team.
But
There
see,
has to be a narrative
I
because
keep
it's just like I
yeah.
can't point to one thing that they have done to help this team in 30 years. I can't point to one thing.
They're not purposely sabotaging the team. They're just not good at their job. Uh,
Well, you shouldn't be allowed to not be good at this,
but they're not.
and you shouldn't be allowed to not be good at this, and then keep your job.
So I wanted to point out. I thought from what I saw, Tyler Guyton, BB, Booker, they all played well. Now the pass protection kind of broke down in the fourth quarter on those the last two drives, but I was
Mhm.
really impressed with Guyton. Uh, they, I could just he to me he looks more football ready. You can just tell. But really, kudos to Guyton for him to miss all of that time and come back and play like that. And the Eagles, by the way, they don't have the pass rushers to beat us. If we just kind of improve a little bit on the with the pass protection, and our running backs kind of going back to that. So I don't. I think B. John is a pipe dream. You got to at least call Atlanta, and then the running back for the Colts, and he's one of the best running backs in the league. His name escapes me at the moment, having a senior moment. What's his name? Uh, the running back for the Colts, and I'm not a big Alvin Kamara fan as people are. I think he's just an older guy. I would have liked to have had Kamara 2-3 years ago, but
Mhm.
yeah, they need to add a running back, and it's some people talking about B. John and what's his name from the coast. He went to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm trying to look him up right now. Jonathan Taylor.
So Jonathan Taylor, what's going to have to happen is when we get to the trading deadline, some games have been played, and if the Colts and the Falcons are kind of out of it, you could probably make a phone call. But yeah, and so Javante Williams is your guy. So how did he look? I didn't really see a lot of him the part of the game I saw. How did he look? Just the plays that he had.
I don't know if it's between. I don't know if it's him or the the offensive line, but he looked good. They won't be trading for no running back after the way that he looked. There's no need to trade for a running back after the way he looked. Now, if that's just because the Eagles' offensive line, I mean defensive line was bad, maybe. But the way that he looked, they ain't finna trade no one. They might trade like a 3 or a 4 for a running back, but I mean, like,
Well, yeah, I
it,
wouldn't
it,
trade a one. I'm talking about trading one of your later picks. But I think you can upgrade running back. But you and I are
you
going to
can't.
disagree with that.
You can upgrade every position, but is that what you need to upgrade? You don't.
Mm, well,
You got Jaden Blue. If Jaden Blue was out there, he would have scored a couple times.
so the
So
so Guyton, Booker, BB, how does still look? They look. The offensive line probably was the best part of our team, along with Kenny Clark and
they
Osa.
they look great to me, except Terrence Steele. It took Terrence Steele a while to get going. Dak kept having to, what I'm saying? But then Dak was like, he looked like 2022 or 20, well, not
And it,
2022, but
and I told you and B Bird, I think this game it looked just like the Tampa game when uh when Dak came back.
yeah, Dak look, like if Dak plays like that for the rest of the season, he'll have another MVP type of year. Everything was on point. I'm talking about every pass that Dak threw was on point.
Mm,
Even him running, even him evading. Normally when you be thinking like when Dak get hit, if somebody hit Dak on the shoulder, it's about a wrap. You know what I mean? Like he finna fall, he finna get tripped up. He evaded pressure a lot. Like a couple times where he evaded
I gotta
pressure,
move
like
my battery right quick.
a couple times he evaded pressure, like stiff armed a couple people, and it was like, yeah, that was pretty cool to see. And I'm just happy. I was happy for Dak. And then Dak, the way Dak was rallying and leading the team on the sideline, I was excited to see that. CD is not gonna make them drops like that continuously. CD had a drop like that, like my dad said, against the Giants that first year when they was asking about is he gonna be able to be a number one Is he gonna be able to be a number one receiver? And he was an All Pro that year. So he's gonna have you can't drop the ball when the game is on the line like that. And whatever it was, it happened. But is that gonna be? They also say CD was at the practice field the next day on the jugs machine when everybody else was at home.
Yeah.
City is a professional. This is not going to happen. More than this not going to happen. That's not going to happen again. And then also, Schottenheimer shouldn't put him in that position again, especially when you got a number one receiver in George Pickens. Don't do that again. Don't throw it to him 3 times in a row. Let's do something to get Pickens the ball. Let's do something and get Ferguson the ball. Well, Ferguson had a drop too, but that is a normal catch in the game, and then you school make a drop the pass that was hit him right in the hands. So it's just like something was going on with the ball and the receivers. No excuses. They in the NFL. They got to catch this. They got to catch these. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? The game is over. We like what we seen from the offensive line. We like what we seen from, the defensive backs. You know, the defensive line, Kenny Clark and Osa, they look good to me. I hadn't, they look good as far as clogging up the middle and doing what one techs are supposed to do. They did that. Um, Now, when it comes to our edge rushers, man, Micah's gone. We know that. Okay. But Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Donovan Izaraku, I'm not seeing it, man.
You had me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. You still got to turn your camera around.
So yeah, this
You got to turn your camera around.
I gotta figure it out. Go ahead and
But yeah, man, Donovan Izaraku, yeah, there you go. Donovan Izaraku, Sam Williams, uh, Dante Fowler. I don't know what I don't I, I was very disappointed in them, and I was very disappointed with Donovan Izaraku because when I seen him on a couple plays, just like running full speed, but like I was just like, what is going on? And to where he running full speed, and it's just like he moving like a turtle. I was like, I can't. And then it's like they reached they drafted him when they could have drafted a running back. They drafted him when they could have drafted Shador. They drafted him when they could have drafted like I'm not understanding that. I'm not getting that. And then Keith said they played better the second half. Man, the way that
well,
they adjusted in the second half, to me, I was just like, wait a minute. It was just like the way that they adjusted, like they literally kept going three and out, three and out, three and out, three and out. They kept getting the Eagles to go three and out. Like it was
but what he did,
no
but what he did in the second half, he brought pressure. See what Eberflus is gonna have to do. What's gonna get Eberflus in trouble is just rushing four rushers as your base defense, and you just keep doing that.
because when he
Because he,
started, like I didn't mean to cut you off. You said that, and then they were saying, well, there's. I was watching Twitter, and somebody said, well, that so much for scheme and pressure, right? And as soon as they said that, on the next play, Trayvon ran up in there and almost hit Jalen Hurts and almost tore his ACL too. And on the next play, they he rushed Bland up in there, and Bland almost hit him. So I'm like, okay, well that's how you scheme pressure. So that's what he gonna have to do. The kid from
yeah,
Boston will
and he's
be
gonna have to do
okay.
it. He's gonna have to do it more
Yeah,
often.
whatever. He said kid from He talking about Donovan is a Rocco. Yeah, I'm just saying he will be okay. Sure. But we could have got Caleb Johnson right there. So, we could have got any of them running backs right there. We could have got we could have got a surefire linebacker right there. We could have got who else we could have got right there? We could have got a lot of people right there. So when we picked him, it was still some top 5 players at each position on the
Yeah.
board.
Hey, I was gonna tell you last night I was watching Kansas City and the Chargers.
Yeah.
Dayon Henley is just balling, and he's a player that we had on the draft board, that the Cowboys passed him up a couple of times, he would be your starting middle linebacker right now. Now he had some issues in college, something out the field.
Well,
Uh,
it's not him, it's his dad.
Deion Henley.
Yeah. His dad is what's his name? The Rolling 60 leader. What's his name? I can't Big U. He just got caught up in in a Rico and all of this, and he's the Rolling 60 Crip gang leader. That's who his dad is. That's his
So
dad.
Deion Henley is like just balling out.
And I don't even think he got drafted. He didn't get drafted.
He did get drafted. Pull it up.
I think he was like a didn't he wasn't he on a practice squad, right?
No, he got drafted.
He got drafted by the Chargers because that's where they from. You know what I'm saying? That's they from LA
I
and
think
they
I
young.
think he got drafted in one of the later rounds. You can Google it.
Yeah, so I mean, that's definitely somebody that Dayon Henley. I know we've been knowing about him because of his dad.
Okay, so we finished with offense. So the running backs. You okay with Devontae Williams? I think we still need to upgrade. We got to get the ball to Pickens. Um, I do want to see Brevin Spanford, more active. And then Tolbert. What was Tolbert doing on that screen to Turpin? It's like, does Tolbert really want to get cut?
What did I remember when I told you that remember when I told you oh, I'm trying to find this. When did he get drafted?
I think Deion Henley was in a 23 draft.
85th overall pick.
Yeah,
Okay, man. Yeah. So
that's
it's
that's
I think
that's
it's two
that's third
Dayon
that's
Henleys.
third round.
This guy. Okay, but anyways, yeah, you
What was
should have got
Tolbert
him.
doing?
So remember when I told you at the beginning of the season, I told you, I said, hey, I'm hearing rumblings that Cavante not gonna even be returning punts and kickoffs. It's gonna be Tolbert. And
Right.
you was just like, what? And what did we see? Why are we seeing why
Seeing who returning punts and kicks.
Tolbert was returning kicks?
I didn't know. I didn't see that. Again. So I saw every punt was Turpin. They had Tolbert returning kicks. I didn't
They
see that.
did. They did. And I was thinking like he's about to fumble, guys. That's what I was thinking.
They actually had Jalen Tolbert returning kicks instead of Turpin.
Yes.
I mean, like,
So it's a lot of these things that are going on to where I'm just like, these are just like, I mean, you know, but I don't know because to me these are like Jerry Steven moves that I get that vibe because like for instance like who in their right mind would have Damone Clark on the field instead of Leofau?
well, Eberflus is playing politics with Sanborn. The plays I saw with Clark, he's just doing what Clark normally does.
Uncle
Clark,
Keith said Tober was on a few punt returns.
yeah, that again, the thing that the Cowboys can't do, they can't just do goofy stuff with players, and that's just goofy. It's yeah, but
What's up, Uncle
but yeah,
Kev? Blew it
yeah.
in the building.
So yeah, this week right here, the big adjustment should be Flanoy should be in for Tolbert. Uh, you definitely shouldn't see Miles Sanders.
That
Um,
was ridiculous.
and then they need to get Blue active for sure.
I don't
And
understand that. Blue was supposed to be active game one. That was just dumb.
the reason they had Blue inactive is because they wanted to do like a homecoming for Sanders. They kind of thought they might have got away with it with that 50-yard run, but blew up in their face when they fumbled. So let's go to the defense. How long we been on?
40 minutes.
To the defense real quick. I thought that we talked about Clark and Osa again a secondary. From what I understand, Elam got beat on a deep ball. I didn't see that one myself. So, but Elam Diggs and Bland played pretty good, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just them playing so good, but or if it was the defense that they was in, but they played excellent to me.
And then what about Donovan Wilson and Hooker?
Again, Hooker
Pretty
could
good.
always Hooker played like Hooker. Hooker to me, Hooker, he plays like a couple of plays you'd be like, dang, he's a real safety. Then a couple of plays you'd be like, Hooker, what is you doing? So, but as far uh as far as he said, Uncle Keith said they need to check number 53 for Philly for steroids. And then Donovan Wilson, he was cracking.
Oh, he
He was
was.
hit. Oh yeah, he hit Saquon in the backfield on a couple plays.
I saw. I thought Houston was good,
He looked just like he looked in preseason. That's
and
what, that's why I'm saying I don't know if the Eagles are just bad or if we played that good.
they got to play Houston and Neyland more. I'm like you. I just wasn't impressed by either Rico. Of course, he's a rookie, but Neyland and Houston. Um, those are probably going to be your best bet at edge, and you got to get Sanborn. If you're not playing just a downhill running team, he really can't even be on the field. The plays that I saw with Murray, he looked okay to me, and some other content creators. Some content creators said Murray was bad. Some said he was good. So
He wasn't good.
yeah, but linebacker, look, man, they got two huge holes at linebacker and edge. The edge thing, you can just write that one off. They had the best edge in the league, and they were stupid enough to trade him to Green Bay. So right now, your edge, as good as you're gonna get, I think it's Houston and Neyland. Either Rocco, you got to remember, he was a second round pick. So it is what it is.
We was talking about them drafting a edge rusher at the beginning of the draft. Like they'll do something stupid like that. I'm talking about they did it because he was a second round pick and they left a lot. They left way more on the board. They did not have to take him. They did not have to
Well,
take him.
I'm gonna go back to what I told
Overshawn,
you.
um, they say Overshawn gonna be back. Like, well, he's on pup, so I think when you on pup, you have to miss like 6 games. I think
It's four games.
it's 4. So
I,
we
I don't
looking at
want to
Overshawn
see
to be back by game 6.
I don't want to see Overshawn rush back.
No, I don't want to see him rush back because he could be the answer to a lot of things, and we don't want him to get re-hurt. Like if Overshawn was healthy and he played at full potential against the Eagles, Jalen Hurts doesn't run like that, doesn't score like that. He would have been hogged down by Overshawn. And if you remember, in the game where Overshawn played against the Eagles last year, he was the spy against Jalen Hurts, and he really did that job very very well. So if he would have been healthy, and I'm kind of thinking the Cowboys they're gonna try to kind of use Overshawn as a version of Micah. They're gonna try to have him rushing the passer. They're
No,
gonna try to have him blitzing from linebacker position. They're gonna be doing that. But before we because we've been on about 45 minutes, I want to show this real quick because I want to see this right here because this was pretty cool and it's pretty good for Cowboy fans to see, um, because this is really what it looks like, um, or what it's supposed to look like. Let me see if I how I can get this on here and really with my I didn't with the landscape. It's really hard to see, but uh, yeah, these are some of the plays. These are some of the plays that you can just see Kenny Clark, and you can just see he's way. We haven't seen our defensive tackles look like this, guys. We just ain't seen that. Um, Look at him. We ain't seen our defensive tackles look like that. So that's a success. Now the messed up part about it is you could have got him without trading Micah. That's what the messed up part is. You had all off season to do this. And then with this defensive tackle, just one guy, Kenny Clark, making this defensive line look that much better. Did you just see Sanborn get shook? Look at that. If you a linebacker, you can't. If you a linebacker, this can't happen. Did you see that?
We got shook by Hurts.
Just watch him on this play right here coming up. Watch Sanborn right
I
here.
couldn't see it.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, I can see it now.
Did you see him get shook?
Do it again.
Look, watch this. Oh my god! You cannot let that happen, bro. So, you know, linebackers look like Cowboys linebackers. They just, to me, they wasn't existent. Look at Kenny Murray. You know, it's just like, they playing like, you need a game changer at the linebacker position. And you need a changer
Yeah,
at edge.
the linebacker that's going to be the top rated is
Look at Donovan Wilson. See, that was Donovan Wilson. He came in. He came in cracking. But he came in like that because of Kenny Clark and Osa. See, watch Donovan Wilson on this play. How he come in and he just popped him. Watch, not on the next play. But look at Kenny Clark and Osa. Then this play right here. Watch how Donovan Wilson. Look at Kenny Clark and Osa and watch Donovan Wilson came right up in there, hit him at the goal line. See that?
yeah.
So it's just like
So they
boom,
used
boom.
they used Donovan Wilson effectively in this game.
Oh, did the linebackers make any plays? The linebackers made some plays, but I I,
No, I
I would
said
say that
Donovan Wilson.
no. Blue it asked, did the
Oh,
linebackers make any plays? I'm gonna say it like this. I think that they made some plays, but they didn't make enough plays. The plays that they scored on, like the plays that the Eagles scored on, I feel it was the linebackers' fault.
was that
I,
Kevin Blood?
yeah,
Tell him say what's up, Nuke. Tell him I said what's up, Nuke.
he can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I said what's up to him earlier. I said what's up, Uncle Kev. I told you that he was in the chat, but yeah. So the linebackers, they didn't play good enough. They made some plays, but they didn't play good enough. And then on top of that, Leofow only played 6 plays, and we
Yeah,
trying to figure that out. And Leofow was one of the highlights of the offseason, the training camp. He was like a high motor linebacker that we wanted to see play. He played with his hair on fire, and he only played 6 snaps. So,
yeah,
and then they still got Damone Clark out here, and we don't know what that's about. But how many times have you seen this a defensive line for the Cowboys look like this, guys? We ain't seen this to where you got Saquon Barkley and you got these other rushers, and they getting bottled up.
yeah,
I mean, and to be honest, Kenny Clark ain't that good. He ain't like the best defensive tackle in the league or nothing. I think he's above average for sure. He got to be top 10, I would say. So if you got a top 10 defensive tackle and it made your team look this much better, Jerry Jones and them should have did they should have done a defensive tackle in the offseason. If they would have went and got homeboy from Detroit or went and got Kenny Clark, because see the Packers they haven't drafted a Pro Bowl player. I think they said in 10 years. So if you give them a pick or something like that before the draft, or if you trade or whatever with them, you know you could have got Kenny Clark without trading Micah to them. So you could have got another defensive tackle on his level without trading Micah. And you could have traded Micah to the AFC also. So you won't have to see him like that. But, for whatever reason, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones is in the business of helping the NFC. They do things like that. They help other teams, and we can't figure out why. They send him to the Packers, our arch nemesis. You know, as as a fourth generation Cowboy fan, there is no other team that I hate the most than Green Bay. So with the third generation Cowboy fans, like my dad, it's more like the Steelers, the 49ers, the Eagles, all of that. But for me, it's like Green Bay and the 49ers and the Eagles. And it's just like I hate the Saints as well. But they not nothing to worry about. But Green Bay, and you send him to Green Bay and you get fleeced, only get 2 picks for the best player in the NFL, arguably, you know, Jerry Jones and them, they should not be allowed to keep messing up like this. So my dad been saying lately that in my lifetime, I'm not gonna have to deal with Jerry like that. But Steven is just to me, he's a carbon copy. I can't figure out if it's Steven that's messing up these deals or not.
I think this was Jerry on the Micah deal.
But I'm just saying, father and son, Cowboys and sports talk. If this was me and you doing this, I would just have to veto some of those decisions, right? I wouldn't just let it go down like that. You know, Cameron Hayward Steelers is not happy. How about going after him? That's a good. Keith, you supposed to be on here with us anyway. I don't know what happened. You supposed to be on here. We supposed to be going live right now. You supposed to be going on her going live. Oh yeah. We got to go to the thing at 6.
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap.
Yeah, so it's been real. I give the Cowboys a B plus. They look better than I thought they were gonna look, and I feel like if they play like this going forward, Jerry does have the last word. I get it, but if it's you know 4-1, then his last word don't mean nothing. If it's 4-1, if it's 4 people, because he has the last word, but he don't necessarily make the decision because, like, for instance, the whole Johnny Manziel thing, he didn't have the last word on that. When it came to like a couple more decisions, the Romo decision, he didn't have the last word on that. He wanted Romo to play.
I think with the way the organization is structured, I think they've been overriding him on some things, but when they really needed to, they didn't. So we won't know. But I just think that he just drew the line on this deal for some reason. He just said, "I'm running this deal. I'm gonna make the decision here." And
I'm thinking that he make the decision when it comes to the money part. When it comes to a big deal or a big money part, he makes the decision. When it comes to the, you know,
that's what this was. It's probably one of the biggest deals besides Dak, and he regretted. He didn't want to do the Dak deal either.
well, as I could, well, Dak shouldn't have been signed that late. Dak has been signed late his whole career, and CD should have been signed that late.
He was
Jefferson got
open.
signed first,
He was openly saying that he didn't want to sign Dak. Everybody knew it, but he just
and and he could have signed Micah 2 years ago.
yeah, man. It's a it's a wrap on that. So we'll be talking about that the week of Green Bay. It's gonna be kind of crazy, but
But the thing, like I said, after they played like how they played last week, and we got two first round picks for Micah. If they do good by this, we gonna win this trade.
we'll see.
So yeah, so we'll catch y'all on the next one. We got a busy day tomorrow of football, all the fantasy. Don't think he can't veto everything. I know he can, and that's probably the problem. You know what I'm saying? He be making decisions that he shouldn't be making, like this whole Micah thing. That was probably all on him. So
Mm-hmm.
uh yeah, so we got a lot of the fantasy football players. I know we're gonna have an exciting opening day tomorrow. And so y'all make sure y'all appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the next one. We got who we got next? I believe we got the Giants next. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the Giants.
Yeah, we got the Giants next. So, we probably gonna be on the JV schedule, right? 12
The
o'clock.
Giants.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So we'll see, guys. We'll be on before that, and we're gonna turn the page on Philadelphia. So Cowboys did good. I was impressed. I ain't gonna even lie. We didn't get the win, but I was still impressed. I'm gonna be real. So we'll see y'all on the next one. Shout out to everybody that came out to today to watch us on a busy Saturday. So we appreciate